Welcome to my little victory garden where I am trying to grow food for my household of 5 in my small backyard in North Texas. Thank you, baby, for taking care of this. I probably shouldn't have left that in the pot for 10 years. You still love me, right? You having to think about that?
What do you think about it?
Another rock?
Oh, yeah. Or something. Here.
I'm sorry. We appreciate your help. That's a big old rock. Bless you. Bless you. She lost a few pads, but I think she'll survive. Okay. Sorry for breathing hard. I am hot, and I just got through harvesting garlic. This is the elephant garlic, although I found a couple of soft neck tucked in with them. All right. All my elephant garlic always puts on these little things. I suspect that's how I ended up with the missing or missed garlic in those where it had them previously. I think some of those had gotten left behind and grew more garlic. But I need to clean these and then weigh them. Let's see how much garlic I ended up with. Okay, I miscalculated. I thought, oh, I don't have that many pieces of elephant garlic. I should be able to pull and process this over my lunch break. It's more time consuming doing the elephant garlic with all those little bits to be pulled off. I am saving them. What do you call those? I mean, I realize they're kind of like a clove, but do you cook with them? Should I just save them for seed? Yeah. So this one did not come out as clean as the other, so I'm probably just going to cook that in the next day or two. And excuse how filthy my nails are. I have been just harvesting garlic. Yeah. Great big mess, and I have a whole bunch of those little bits. So we're at a point in the garden where I don't feel like I have a lot of stuff to do, but I do need to do some protective work. We're getting close to time for the squash vine borer. I have already found a few squash bugs. I hate those. I saw some cucumber beetles, but we didn't seem to have too bad of an infestation. So I'm going to put some foil around the base of some of my plants. I'm trellising them up in hopes of reducing their risk as well. So I've got some more foil strips here, and I'll show you what that looks like at the end. I'm also coming through and trying to pollinate my tomatoes every morning. I've got a few. Not all the flowers seem to be doing anything, but see, we've got the little Amish paste there and a little baby next to it. These next few plants don't seem to have anything going, but the San Marizanos are starting to do fairly well. Still nothing on these mortgage lifters, although they are putting on some huge flowers. I keep hoping. And I've got one Creole tomato off my 2 plants over here. And I'm just now starting to see some flowers on my cherry tomatoes. And I've got a flower going here on my eggplant. Let's see if we can get over here. We can see that. Yeah, oh, those are pretty. And the peppers are starting to flower. Some of them still look a little stunted. I'm hoping when I pull up the onions, that will help them get enough light. I kind of bent half of them over, maybe a little more than half, in hopes of encouraging them to bulb up a little more. They're huge, but they're not spherical. They're more cylindrical in shape. Here's one who has bulbed up. And also, I have hit 80 pounds of produce harvested from the garden. I know that seems probably not that much whenever you're dealing with, in fact, I've harvested some potatoes and garlic and some onions, but a third of that, or no, more than that, well over 30 pounds is just leafy greens, most of that being lettuce. I have some more bolted lettuce I need to take out this weekend and send to chickens, as well as my bolted spinach. It actually lasted longer than I expected and then bolted really quick over just a couple of days. But yeah, I've got one more round of corn to plant this week. I've been doing them in 2x4 blocks, 2 foot by 4 foot. And doing them every couple of weeks. So I did this round a few days ago. That's the last of my Aunt Mary's. So the first thing had Aunt Mary's corn, sweet potatoes, and a asparagus bean. The second round I put in Aunt Mary's corn, sweet potatoes, and an Alabama lima bean. Not seeing too much of the lima beans producing, and then this round was just the sweet potatoes and the Aunt Mary's corn. I might see what kind of pole bean I've got to add in there once those sprout. And then I've got some Country Gentleman corn that's going to go in this last block, and they take a little longer to mature than the Aunt Mary's, which is why I kind of started with the Aunt Mary's. So I shouldn't have any risk of cross-pollination, even though I'm only going to wait like a week between plantings. When I get all this up, I'll start planting. I might put it, I can't decide if I'm going to do Country Gentleman and then wait for a while and put in popcorn. I've got some glass gem corn that I want to do for popcorn. Or I've also ordered some seed potatoes because my last round of seed potatoes for my fall planting molded. And part of my plan is to put seed potatoes in the same bed with the corn and see how that does. But yeah, once all this onion comes up, I'm going to put some okra in. I have a few okra plants. It's not near enough. I do live with Cajuns. They're also not growing very fast. I'm hoping if I'm putting them in the ground now while it's a little warmer, that maybe they'll be a little more vigorous in their growth. And there's that prickly pear my wife planted. I have, in my attempts to get rid of the mulch, which I still need to show you the video of, that monster project. That's been what's taken up most of my time lately, is moving mulch. I have some grow bags filled with mulch that I need to put in other places, but it got it out of the driveway. I'm hoping we'll have some more people come from the neighborhood and pick it up this weekend, and I can start parking my car in the driveway again. That would be so nice. But a lot of my pots are doing okay over there. We are talking about maybe moving that chiminea since we're not really using it in the summer. And that's what that black tarp thing is. We've got a cover over it to kind of protect it. We'll probably move the fountain to that area. My wife got another hook thing that she wants to put her bird feeders on because I won't let her put them directly over my garden beds. And the berries have been doing really well. One of my grapes that I planted from Stark Brothers, it's not doing anything yet. I'm a little concerned, but they do have a 1-year warranty on their plants. So if I don't see any growth in a couple more weeks, I'll be talking to them. But my other two that I got from them are, this is the Cowart Muscadine, and the one over behind the Swiss Chard is my Red Flame. And then previously from one of the big box stores, I think maybe Home Depot, I got a Suffolk grape, which is also doing quite well. It's over there behind that Tabasco pepper. But yeah, I'm excited. I think my garden looks prettier than it's ever looked before. I know it's not this perfect, beautiful garden by some people's standards, but it brings me so much joy. I've got plenty of walking space. I did the wide paths so that I could get the wheelbarrow through when I needed to. But yeah, it's like 2-foot beds along the fence, 3-foot paths, 4-foot beds through the center here. And then that blank space, eventually I'm going to put a greenhouse. And then I'll adjust where the compost is to be better situated around the greenhouse. I didn't do a very good job of trying to trellis this squash. I think this is my patty pan squash, my white scallop squash. You see I've got foil at the base. I probably need to add some new fresh foil to that because it's not. But I don't think I put the scallop close enough, and there's some more squash bug. Ugh. Yeah, I hate squash bugs. Hate. Almost as much as I hate the vine borers. But yeah, I'm gonna add some, better wrap that with the foil and try to get that to trellis a little better without doing too much damage to the root system. So I try to reuse pots, which is why I've got this weird selection. Oh, this is like a mess right now. I need to clean it up. Which is kind of what I'm starting on now. But after a couple of years, even these need, they're just not usable anymore. So these need to go away. But most of these, actually I got through a no-buy group locally that they had purchased a lot of plants, and they were very handy for me to start plants in or pot up my tiny little seedlings. The person that gifted me those, thank you so much. They have been very handy. They usually, you see about a year or two before they have to go. I did get these little terracotta pots from the no-buy group. I'm hoping that they will be useful in doing some of my seeds starting next year. I guess if I have any disappointment with my garden is I wish more flowers had already bloomed. I planted 3 kinds of daisies. The Swan Lake is the only one here that has bloomed. I think that's leaves for Shasta. And then the English over here, they're already looking kind of fried. It's getting too hot for them. The celosia my wife bought is doing well, but let's see. My marigolds are still young. I need to deadhead that one. I have done so with some others and either sprinkled the seeds or saved them for next year. Of course, my melons are blooming beautifully, as are my peas. I haven't got any blooms on the peanuts though. My pickle bush is blooming nicely. I think I probably need to deadhead the Angelonia? I don't know. It's an archangel variety. I have all these sunflowers that haven't bloomed yet. My dahlia hasn't bloomed. My zinnias haven't bloomed. I've got some that are even bigger over by the apple tree. I'll show you that. But I sprinkled out also in here, I think this is one of the, it's either an Irish bell or a Canterbury bell. I'd sprinkled both out here. That's the only one that has sprouted. I also put out some breadseed poppy and have not seen any signs of that, although if I'm really lucky, that might be one. Of course, you know, the fruit is blooming, even ones I didn't expect yet. So I've got this triple crown blackberry and it has a bloom on it. I was quite surprised. I think this is going to be my white zinnia of all the seed. I seeded this 3 times. I think this is the only one that's come up. There's another marigold I need to deadhead. I think this might be a cosmos because I just kind of threw out cosmos and it could be marigold. I don't know. I threw out cosmos, marigold, and zinnia seeds just like randomly all over the place. What else? My rose, of course, is blooming. The ones up front, only 2 have bloomed, and one of them I'm growing for the hips, so I did not cut those flowers off. I'm letting the hips form, and they're beautiful. The sage blossoms are already done. My red sorrel hibiscus has not bloomed. I have some, let's see, got a few blooms on my peppers, a few blooms on my tomatoes. This one chamomile is doing well, but I don't know, by May Day I usually had a few zinnias, and I had nothing this year. The only thing that had bloomed by that point were my irises up front and behind the fence here. And when I said I just kind of scattered zinnia seeds, well, here's a zinnia growing up in the middle of my beans. I'm hoping it comes up and makes a beautiful flower. It's either going to be pink and red. I had a mix last year that I saved, and those seem to be the only ones that have sprouted. I was gifted some others of the pink and red mix, and where I put those, none of those came up. It was the same person that gave me the white zinnia. I'm really hoping that blooms because I want a white zinnia so badly. Yeah, I guess, what am I doing wrong with flowers this year? Maybe it's because I take benign neglect as a approach to growing flowers, even my edible ones. Okay, I've had some success. This is my Goffrinia that I'd saved seeds from last year and threw out. 2 of the 3 plants I seeded have done well. One is actually blooming. The 3rd one I believe is in one of those compostable pots. And then I am finally starting to see some buds on zinnias. Also with a lot of ants. I'm going to assume there's some aphid issues in there. Ugh. That lemon balm has just flourished since I did that very aggressive harvest for lemon balm and pesto and lemon balm tea. I am curious what that bird finds in our yard that he is so fascinated with eating. I think I might need to harvest some mint soon, and maybe it will bush out like the lemon balm did. Just need to decide what I'm going to do. If I dehydrate it, I at least need to wait until the garlic leaves are done drying, because I'm going to try to make a kind of a green garlic powder with those. Or maybe we'll just have mojitos for Memorial Day weekend. Let's see. Of course, this might be why I don't have many flowers hanging around the garden, because I get them and then I start doing crazy stuff like harvesting them for tea or making a wreath for the Buddha cat. So this is a week's worth of harvest of green beans. I'd have to calculate it up to know exactly what it was, but I did a little over 5 ounces this morning, and that was my biggest single harvest. I harvest like twice a day. But yeah, and then this was this morning's harvest of Swiss chard. This is going to be dinner tonight. And this is a little over a pound of Swiss chard. Okay. Yesterday I was complaining that I wasn't getting any flowers, and I had my first nasturtium flower this morning. Okay, I'm happy now. Look, squash bugs. I hate these things so much. That's why the squash pests are the bane of my gardening. I want squash so bad, and these things just keep coming. So I found a couple more cucumber beetles this morning, so I killed those and put out a trap. I also saw a squash vine borer. It's nasty little bugs. I hate them. Hate them so much. But I put out another trap. The first one has done nothing. Hopefully the second one, being fresh, will help. And I'm tempted to order more, even though I'm not sure they're actually doing anything. These things need to be replaced. Those have worked wonderful. Mostly they've caught flies and a few aphids. But between that and the ladybugs, I think my aphids are under control. I am glad I got rid of the peas, though. Just as I'm thinking, oh, I don't have a whole lot to do in the garden, the pests come. That becomes my labor. That's the part I dislike the most about gardening. Growing, harvesting, even kind of cleaning up after the season is all good, but pest management just is exhausting, especially since it hits when it's so hot here in Texas already. I'm so happy to be seeing her out here today. She's been coming out to the garden with me less and less as her back legs are getting less and less manageable. I'm not sure if I mentioned, but when I got her from a rescue group that had found her at the pound, and she'd been hit by a car. And the rescue group, Saving Hope, did reconstructive surgery on her hip, but it's never quite been the same as if she had never injured it. But she's really starting to struggle with it now. It's making me sad that she doesn't want to hang out with me in the garden every time. I've never had my regular bulbing onions do this. I've had several of them do it this year. This one was the worst of them, with it becoming, you can tell, 4 onions from the one start I had. Anyone know why that happens? So there we are. 4 onions from one start. I know this video has been a little bit all over the place with harvesting and pest control and what in the world is that thing growing on my garlic. And a little bit of worrying about sage, but if you're enjoying these and seeing how the garden progresses, please like and subscribe and hit that notification button. Thank you.